You've probably been there, chasing after a woman, constantly giving her attention, thinking it'll win her over. But let me tell you this, women take you for granted when they know you can't walk away. It's as simple as that. When you're always around, always available, they stop valuing your time and your presence. It's human nature, and women are no different. When they know you'll never leave, your worth in their eyes starts to drop. This isn't about playing games or acting like you don't care. It's about creating a level of respect and attraction that comes when you show a woman you have options and you're not afraid to walk away. The moment you lose that edge, she starts taking you for granted. And that's a trap many men fall into. Here's the hard truth. If you're always chasing her, giving her attention without any space, she'll never feel that desire to keep you. She needs to feel that she has to compete for your attention. It's the nature of attraction. When you're too easy to have, she loses interest. So how do you fix this? It's all about shifting the power dynamic. Stop giving her everything. Show her you're a man with a life, with priorities, and with boundaries. When you create that space and walk away when things get too comfortable, that's when things will start to change. In this video, I'll walk you through 7 tactics that will shift the power back in your favor and stop her from taking you for granted. Let's dive in. Before we start the video, I want to remind you that my exclusive online course on mastering the dating game is available now. If you've been learning from my YouTube videos, you're only scratching the surface. This course goes deeper, teaching you everything you need to know about the dating game, from approaching a woman to building real attraction. We just completed section 4 in the course, and these insights aren't shared anywhere else. It's easy to access with multiple secure payment options. There are only 5 discounted slots remaining using the promo code. Visit stoicapproachtolife.podia.com or check the link in the description to enroll now before the offer is gone. 1. Stop being her backup option. The first step in making her stop taking you for granted is to stop being her backup option. Far too many men make the mistake of always being available, ready to drop everything whenever she calls or texts. You've got to stop this if you want her to value you. If she knows she can always count on you to be there without any hesitation, she'll never see you as a man who deserves her full respect. You need to let her see that your time is valuable. If she knows that you've got your own life, your own interests, and your own goals, she'll start to realize that you're not just sitting around waiting for her to give you attention. Being too available makes her see you as someone who is predictable and easy. Women are drawn to men who have a sense of purpose, who are focused on their own lives, and who don't rely on her for their happiness. When you stop being her backup option, you create space. And that space is exactly what you need to make her think twice about how she's treating you. She'll begin to wonder where you are, why you're not answering as quickly, or why you're not always available. This little bit of mystery keeps her interested. It makes her realize that she can't take you for granted because you're not always at her beck and call. The moment you create this distance, you'll notice the shift in how she interacts with you. She'll start putting in more effort, trying to make sure she doesn't lose your attention. You're no longer the guy who's just waiting around for her. You've raised your value in her eyes by showing that you have other things going on in your life that are just as important as her. Remember, this isn't about ignoring her or playing games. It's about finding a balance where you're not the man who's always waiting for her to decide when it's time to connect. You've got your own life, and that's what makes you attractive. Stop being her backup plan and watch how her attitude towards you changes. When you stop being her backup, you force her to acknowledge your worth. She'll realize that she can't just take you for granted because you're a man who has options and knows his value. That's the power you need to hold. 2. Set clear boundaries. Setting clear boundaries is an absolute game changer. If you're not firm about what you will and won't tolerate, you open the door for her to push limits and take advantage of your kindness. Women need to see that you are a man who knows his limits, a man who doesn't bend over backward just to please them. It's not about being rude or distant. It's about being strong enough to say no when it's necessary and stand by it. When you don't set boundaries, you send the message that you'll accept anything. You let her dictate the pace and direction of the relationship, and that's when things start to go south. She'll begin to think she can get away with anything. Whether it's canceling plans last minute, taking you for granted, or only giving you attention when it's convenient for her. You're basically telling her that you don't have any deal breakers, that you'll stick around no matter how she treats you. The moment you set clear boundaries, you draw a line in the sand. This tells her that you're a man of standards and that she can't walk all over you. It might not seem like much, but when you establish what's acceptable behavior and what's not, it forces her to respect you. She'll either rise to meet your expectations or she'll walk away. And if she walks away, you've just saved yourself from investing time and energy into someone who didn't value you. Boundaries are also about protecting your emotional well-being. If you're constantly putting yourself in a position where you're giving her more than she's giving you, it's draining. Eventually, you'll feel burned out, unappreciated, and resentful. That's why boundaries are key. You need to protect yourself from emotional exhaustion. When you make it clear that you won't tolerate disrespect or bad behavior, you prevent the slow erosion of your self-worth. You can set boundaries without being harsh. For example, if she frequently cancels plans or makes you feel like an option, let her know how that makes you feel. Respect yourself enough to say, I understand things come up, but I value my time. If this continues, I won't be available the next time. You're not punishing her, you're simply standing your ground. The right woman will respect that because it shows that you value yourself and your time. Setting boundaries also helps you become more attractive to women. A man who can say no without hesitation is a man who is in control of his life. This doesn't mean you should act like you don't care, but it does mean that you're not willing to accept anything less than what you deserve. Women are drawn to men who aren't afraid to protect themselves and stand by their values. It's this strength and self-respect that makes you stand out. Once you start setting boundaries, don't backtrack. Stick to them. If she tests them, don't let it slide. If you bend once, she'll expect you to bend again. And that's how you end up back in the cycle of being taken for granted. Boundaries are there to protect both your peace of mind and your relationship. They build respect. And respect is the foundation of a strong, lasting connection. When you set clear boundaries, you change the game. No longer will she take you for granted, because she'll understand that you have standards and that you're not afraid to walk away if those standards aren't met. Your value increases because you show her that you're not easily manipulated or disrespected. The man who knows his worth and isn't afraid to protect it is the man who commands respect and attracts the right kind of attention. 3. Don't chase her, make her chase. One of the quickest ways to be taken for granted is by constantly chasing after her. When you're the one always initiating contact, making the effort, and trying to get her attention, you're essentially giving away your power. She starts to see you as a man who is always there, always eager, and she'll stop putting in the effort herself. She knows you're not going anywhere, so why would she? This is one of the biggest mistakes men make, chasing someone who isn't chasing them back. Instead of pursuing her, make her come to you. Let her see that you have a life, that you're not waiting around for her to respond to your messages or texts. When you stop chasing, you immediately change the dynamic. You become the one who is in control. And here's the thing. Women are drawn to men who aren't desperate for their attention. The more you pursue her, the less she feels the need to chase you. She gets comfortable, and you end up in the position of being undervalued. This doesn't mean you should play hard to get or act uninterested, but you do need to create a sense of mystery. Let her wonder about you. Don't always be available. Don't always reply instantly to her messages. Keep her on her toes, just a little bit. This doesn't mean being rude or ignoring her for days on end, but it does mean not always making her the center of your attention. When you pull back and focus on other aspects of your life, she starts to see you in a different light. Suddenly, you become more attractive because you're not the man who is always around, just waiting for her to show up. Making her chase you is about creating emotional investment. The more you allow her to take the lead occasionally, the more she'll invest in getting your attention. She'll start to put in more effort to please you because she knows you're not constantly looking for validation from her. When you show that you have your own life, your own passions, and you're not afraid to walk away, she starts to realize you're a man of value. You're not there to fill a void in her life, you're an addition to her world. Don't chase after her because it shows you're emotionally dependent. When a woman senses that you're emotionally dependent on her for happiness or validation, she begins to lose respect. The woman who feels needed all the time will start to feel like she's the one doing the heavy lifting in the relationship. This dynamic doesn't attract her, it drains her. The key is to create the opposite effect. Make her feel like she needs to earn your attention, your time, and your affection. It's a delicate balance. You're not pulling away out of spite, but rather you're creating space for her to feel your absence. This makes her feel the need to work harder to keep you interested. It also reminds her of your value and the effort you've put into the relationship. As a result, she'll begin to appreciate you more because she knows you're not easily available. Women are naturally attracted to men who don't give everything away right away. The more you make her work for your attention, the more invested she becomes. When you stop chasing, you also stop the cycle of giving too much without receiving enough in return. This forces her to step up, to make an effort, and it puts her in a position where she has to show you she values you. Don't be afraid to make her work a little bit for your attention. The more she feels the need to earn your time, the more she'll begin to respect you. This shift in power is exactly what will stop her from taking you for granted. 4. Be independent. Keep your own life. If you want to stop being taken for granted, the most important thing you can do is become independent. Too many men lose themselves in the relationship, making the mistake of thinking that they need to be constantly available to her or that their value lies in how much they're able to give. But the truth is, women are attracted to men who have their own life, their own passions, and their own purpose. When you become too wrapped up in her, you start losing your own sense of identity, and that's when the disrespect begins. Having your own life means you're not dependent on her for your happiness, your validation, or your sense of self-worth. You're focused on your goals, your career, your hobbies, and your social life. You've got a world of your own, and you don't need her to complete it. That's what makes you attractive. It's not about being emotionally distant, but about showing that you have your own interests and that you're not relying on her to fulfill every aspect of your life. When you're independent, you automatically stop being her emotional caretaker. You're not looking to her for constant reassurance, affection, or validation. You've already got your own sense of purpose and satisfaction, and you don't need her to fill that void. This gives you a sense of confidence and self-assurance that women find incredibly attractive. When you stop relying on her to make you feel complete, she starts seeing you as a man who is self-sufficient, and that's what ultimately draws her to you. Independence doesn't mean you don't care about her or the relationship. It means that you don't put her on a pedestal and lose your own sense of self in the process. She should feel like a wonderful addition to your life, not the sole focus of it. When you're independent, you don't need her for emotional support or to constantly validate your worth. Your worth is already established because you know who you are and what you bring to the table. Another key element of independence is that you stop being available at the drop of a hat. When you have your own schedule, your own commitments, and your own obligations, you don't revolve your world around her. If she wants to see you, she needs to work within the space you've already carved out. This is a powerful move because it shows her that you won't be moved just because she asks. You've got a life that doesn't revolve around her, and she has to respect that. Being independent also means that you can walk away if necessary. If she's not treating you right or respecting your time, you're not stuck hoping that things will change. You have the power to say, I don't need this. When a woman realizes that you're not afraid to walk away, she'll understand that you're a man of value. You're not someone who's willing to tolerate disrespect or bad behavior simply because you're afraid of being alone or losing her. At the end of the day, your independence is what keeps you grounded and attractive. When you have your own life, your own goals, and your own priorities, she will see you as a man who has his own path. She'll realize that she can't take you for granted because you're a man who's not desperate for her attention. She'll be drawn to you because of the strength that comes from knowing your own worth and not depending on anyone else to complete you. 5. Show her that you can walk away. One of the most powerful things you can do in any relationship is to show her that you're willing and able to walk away. When a woman knows that you're willing to leave if your needs aren't being met, it changes the entire dynamic of the relationship. Most men make the mistake of staying no matter what, thinking that by sticking around, they'll somehow win her over or earn her respect. In reality, when you stay in a relationship where you're not valued, she starts taking you for granted because she knows you won't leave. It's important to understand that your value doesn't depend on her approval or presence. When you make it clear that you're not afraid to walk away, you send a strong message. You're not going to tolerate being treated poorly. This doesn't mean threatening to leave every time there's a disagreement, but it does mean being emotionally detached enough to recognize when it's time to move on. Walking away doesn't mean abandoning the relationship at the slightest problem. It means knowing when to let go when the relationship isn't serving you anymore. If she's not showing respect, not putting in the effort, or taking you for granted, walking away is a demonstration of self-respect. It's a way of telling her, I deserve better and I won't settle for less. When she realizes that you have the strength and courage to walk away, she'll see you as a man who values himself, and that will make her reconsider her actions. It's not about being cold or distant, it's about creating emotional distance when necessary. The fear of losing you can often reignite her interest and respect for you. Women are naturally wired to chase what they can't have, and when she sees that she could lose you, she'll start to invest more in the relationship. When she realizes that you're not going to stick around no matter how she treats you, she'll have no choice but to step up her game. It's important to note that walking away isn't a manipulation tactic. It's about self-preservation. You don't need to tolerate poor behavior just because you're afraid of losing her. You don't need to beg, plead, or chase her for validation. If she doesn't appreciate you, then it's time to walk away with your head held high. You show her that your self-respect and dignity come before her approval. This mindset also means you stop investing so much emotional energy into her. When you detach emotionally and mentally, you give yourself the freedom to think clearly. You're no longer chasing after her validation or approval, and that's when you start regaining your power. The moment you realize that you don't need her to complete you is when you start becoming the man she wants to keep around. Now, walking away doesn't mean ghosting her or ending things without explanation. Be clear and respectful when you make that decision. Let her know that you're not willing to continue being in a relationship where your needs and desires aren't being respected. If she values the relationship, she will either step up or allow you to go. Either way, you're no longer stuck in a situation where you're being taken for granted. The real power in walking away comes from your ability to maintain control over your own life and emotional well-being. When you show her that you're capable of leaving, you position yourself as the man who has options and is unwilling to tolerate mistreatment. That's when respect is earned, and she will see you as a man of strength and conviction, rather than someone who is disposable or easily manipulated. 6. Maintain boundaries. Never let her control you. One of the key reasons women begin to take you for granted is when they realize that you have no boundaries. In relationships, boundaries are what keep things healthy. Without boundaries, you become vulnerable to manipulation, emotional draining, and disrespect. When a woman sees that she can control your actions, dictate your behavior, or even disregard your needs without consequence, she begins to lose respect for you. It's vital that you establish and maintain firm boundaries if you want to keep your self-respect intact and stop her from taking you for granted. Boundaries are not just about saying no to things you don't want to do, but also about communicating what you need and expect from the relationship. You have to make it clear from the start what your values are, what you won't tolerate, and what you expect in return for your time and attention. If she crosses these boundaries and you let it slide, you're sending the message that your needs don't matter. Eventually, she'll take you for granted because she knows that no matter what, you'll always give in. This isn't about being controlling or demanding, it's about respecting yourself and teaching her to respect you in return. If she doesn't respect your boundaries, it's an indication that she's not valuing you the way she should. Respect is a two-way street. If you continually allow her to push your limits, she'll begin to see you as a pushover or someone she can walk all over. And once that happens, she'll stop trying to meet your needs because she knows that you'll always put her first, no matter what. An essential part of maintaining boundaries is having the courage to stand firm when she tests them. Women often test men to see how much they can get away with. And if you fail to assert your boundaries when needed, she'll see that as an opportunity to take advantage of you. The more you allow her to step on your boundaries, the less respect she will have for you. On the other hand, when you hold your ground, she'll see you as a man who knows his worth, and she'll respect you for it. Boundaries also prevent you from losing yourself in the relationship. It's easy to get caught up in the emotions and desire to please her, but if you forget to prioritize your own needs, you're headed down a dangerous path. When you maintain healthy boundaries, you show her that your happiness and well-being are just as important as hers. You won't allow her to drain your emotional energy or force you into situations that make you uncomfortable. If she doesn't understand your boundaries, it's a red flag. A healthy woman will appreciate a man who knows what he wants and is not afraid to stand by his principles. If she's truly invested in you, she will respect your limits and work with you to build a balanced, mutually beneficial relationship. But if she continues to push against your boundaries, it's time to reconsider whether or not she's worth your time. The key to stopping a woman from taking you for granted is showing that you won't tolerate being treated poorly. When you create boundaries in your relationship, you create a foundation of respect. You stop giving her the power to walk all over you, and you regain control of your emotional and mental well-being. This approach makes you a more attractive and powerful man because you've made it clear that you won't settle for anything less than the respect and consideration you deserve. 7. Lead with strength. Be the man. She can rely on the final tactic to ensure that a woman does not take you for granted is to lead with strength. A woman needs to feel that she can trust and rely on you, not just emotionally, but also in your actions, decisions, and presence. Strong leadership doesn't mean controlling her. It means being decisive, confident, and taking charge of your own life and the relationship. If you're constantly waiting for her to make decisions, guide the relationship, or take responsibility for things, it will cause her to lose respect for you over time. Leadership starts with being clear about what you want and where you're headed. It means having a vision for your life, a plan for the future, and being willing to work toward those goals regardless of distractions. A man who lacks direction is a man who becomes vulnerable to being manipulated. Women are naturally attracted to men who know what they want, who are ambitious, and who take action to make things happen. This shows her that you are not someone who can be easily swayed or disrespected because you're grounded in your purpose. Leading with strength also means being emotionally strong, even when things get tough. Women don't want to be with a man who crumbles at the first sign of adversity or who falls apart every time there's an emotional challenge. While it's important to be vulnerable and open with your feelings, it's equally important to show that you can handle life's challenges with resilience. If you can't be strong during difficult times, she will begin to see you as someone who is unreliable, and that's a recipe for disrespect. Another aspect of leadership is taking responsibility for your actions. A real man owns his mistakes and doesn't blame others or make excuses. If something goes wrong in the relationship, he is willing to discuss it openly and work toward a solution. He doesn't shy away from hard conversations, nor does he let problems fester. By doing this, you show her that you are not afraid to lead, take initiative, and take responsibility for the direction of the relationship. Women need to feel safe in a relationship, not just physically, but also emotionally. A man who leads with strength provides that security. He creates an environment where she knows that no matter what happens, he has the strength to handle the situation and will always act in her best interest. This gives her peace of mind and allows her to fully trust you. Trust is the foundation of any strong relationship, and without it, she will start looking elsewhere for security, potentially leading to her taking you for granted. You also need to be assertive in how you communicate. When you lead, you don't just say what you think she wants to hear. You speak your truth clearly and confidently. You make decisions and stick to them. If she challenges your choices, You remain firm but respectful. A man who can lead with confidence is one that commands respect. Finally, a strong leader sets boundaries, not just for himself, but for the relationship. He is clear about what he will and will not tolerate, and communicates these boundaries to her from the start. He doesn't back down or let her push him around. Instead, he stands firm in his principles, and when he does this, she understands that she can't take him for granted because he won't let her. When you lead with strength, you not only stop being taken for granted, but you also elevate the relationship. You become the man she looks up to, the man she respects, and the man she feels secure with. By being decisive, responsible, emotionally resilient, and clear in your communication, you demonstrate to her that you are a strong, reliable, and capable man who will not be easily manipulated or disrespected. This powerful approach creates a dynamic where she values you not just for your presence, but for your leadership and the strength you bring into her life. To stop being taken for granted, you must redefine your role in the relationship. By showing that you can walk away, maintaining strong boundaries, and leading with strength, you position yourself as a man who demands respect. Remember, a woman will only value you as much as you value yourself. When you demonstrate self-respect, confidence, and the ability to stand firm, she will no longer see you as someone she can take advantage of. Become the man who knows his worth and doesn't settle for less. This is the path to true respect and a healthier relationship. If you're serious about mastering the dating game, don't miss out on my exclusive online course. We go beyond what's covered in these videos, giving you powerful insights from the first approach to lasting attraction. Only 5 discounted slots remain, and it's easy to enroll with secure payment options. Visit stoicapproachtolife.podia.com or simply click the link in the description to secure your spot. Don't wait until it's too late. Take action now and start transforming your dating life today.